The Korean War was a military conflict between North and South Korea that began on June 25, 1950 and lasted until July 27, 1953. It was a significant event in the Cold War, and its repercussions are still felt today. The war was sparked by the invasion of South Korea by North Korea, which was backed by the Soviet Union and China. The United Nations, with the United States as the main participant, intervened on behalf of South Korea, while China and the Soviet Union supported North Korea. The war resulted in over 1 million deaths, with a significant number of civilian casualties. The North Korean army quickly pushed the South Korean and U.S. forces back, and by September 1950, they had captured the capital city of Seoul and were closing in on the port of Pusan in the south. However, a U.S.-led UN counteroffensive, known as the Incheon Landing, was launched in September 1950 and successfully pushed the North Koreans back across the 38th parallel, the dividing line between North and South Korea. This was a significant turning point in the war and marked the first major U.S. victory of the Cold War. With the North Koreans in retreat, UN forces pushed on into North Korea, with the goal of reunifying the country under a single government. However, China, fearing a U.S. presence on its border, entered the war in support of North Korea, and the UN forces were pushed back south of the 38th parallel. This marked a significant change in the war and led to a prolonged stalemate. The war then settled into a stalemate, with both sides launching offensives and counteroffensives but unable to gain a decisive advantage. The war was also a significant test for the United Nations, as it was the first time the organization had intervened in a conflict with military force. The U.S. and its allies saw the Korean War as a test of the UN's ability to maintain international peace and security and as a way to contain the spread of communism. The U.S. also saw the war as an opportunity to demonstrate its military and technological superiority, as well as its commitment to the defense of democracy and freedom around the world. The war ultimately ended with the signing of an armistice agreement on July 27, 1953, which established a demilitarized zone DMZ along the 38th parallel and set up a ceasefire that still holds today. However, no formal peace treaty was ever signed, so technically the two countries are still at war. The Korean War resulted in a significant loss of life and left a lasting impact on the Korean Peninsula, with North and South Korea remaining separated to this day. The division of the Korean Peninsula has led to a stark contrast between the two countries, with North Korea becoming one of the most isolated and repressive regimes in the world, while South Korea has become a democracy and one of the most developed countries in the world. The Korean War also had a significant impact on the United States, as it marked the first time that U.S. troops were sent to fight in a foreign war as part of a UN coalition. The Korean War was also the first war in which U.S. troops were sent to fight against a communist enemy, and it marked the beginning of a long and costly involvement in the Cold War. The Korean War also had a significant impact on American society, as it led to increased government spending, a stronger military, and a more active role for the U.S. in world affairs.